All right, the donor bike my barber told me about didn't pan out, but we're gonna take it a different direction. Maybe somewhere. Slap bikes together. I think we got all the parts we need to build up a cheap frame I've already got. So, yeah, good lunch break. Hey folks, it's February again, which means it's time for another cheap bike build-off. Let me show you what I'm thinking for this one. When I bought the Trek Antelope frame from Randy's Recycled Cycles that I used for last year's cheap bike build-off, I also bought this Easton Reflex aluminum, bonded aluminum. Earl's Cyclery and Fitness, Burlington, Vermont. E9 Program 6000 Series alloy. Handmade in the USA. I got it for 25 bucks. So, it's a good candidate, I think, for the cheap bike build-off. Found these bad boys. I'll be honest, I'm not a suspension guy. They do look like they go together to me. So we're gonna rock and roll with this approach. What else? Go with that. Also bikes together. Found this set of Shimano LX hub laced to Sun CR18 rims. It's got a single speed cog on it, but I'm gonna put a 9-speed. What else? I got this crank with the bottom bracket. What do you think? It's not through the end of February. It ends on 23rd, which is next Sunday. So what's today? The 15th. Saturday the 15th. 8 days. Okay, cranks, wheels. Here's what I'm thinking with tires, folks. Maxxis tires are great for kicking around on the BMX bike, but I rode around these Holy Rollers for a little while. I stopped using them because this is starting to peel up here. I don't want to ride around on that. I mean, I can't ride this tire anymore. Fortunately, the other one is pretty good. I've looked around it and I didn't see any. But I'm not gonna rock them on my daily anymore. But I think they're used. You know, how am I gonna value a used tire? And then after those Holy Rollers, I got a set of these Maxxis DTH. Drop the hammer. And I rode those for a couple of months. Look, I've already got a little field patch on this one. The other one got a huge gash in it. So I'm like, man, I've learned this lesson, and here's what it is when I was a teenager, I rode Maxxis, but I wasn't relying on my bike quite as much as I was then later in my 20s when I got into the road bike thing. And I was riding bikes for, you know, reliable transportation. And you can see what tire I ended up with after many, many tires is the Panaracer Gravel King. But for this build, you're getting the one decent, we're gonna do stagger style like the BMX guys, with the road wheel, road tire in the back, dirt tire in the front, because one of these is toast. And so we're gonna rock two different Maxxis. So we got our tires. Awesome chain ring from Bikes Together. Great find for this build, if I'm being honest. Really ties the room together, I think, with the rims. Handlebars, still contentious. What I've wanted to do for a really long time is rock this. Mustache bars, Ritchie stem. This is a 26 millimeter. But with this fork I found, the fork that I feel like really goes with the bike, there's not enough room. I would need to get an adapter. Or my other thought, until I realized I had an oversized threaded situation was to do these guys. Little different approach. BMX style. I don't think that'd be a terrible combo at all. But here's the deal. Now I've got a situation that calls for an oversized stem like this one. I don't know. The bars are still, I don't know. You know, brakes, seat. I got some cheap brakes. I got a cheap seat. I got used tubes. Oh yeah, drivetrain. So Rivendell is selling these Q's sets for 10 bucks. I guess I got them and decided not to use them. But shifter and 9-speed derailleur for $10. I bought 2 of these. Seemed like too good of a thing to pass up. I put one on the Pine Mountain, and this seems like a good opportunity to use this $10 set if we're skimped on funds. So I did. Probably the only new pieces are going to be this drivetrain. I ordered a cassette. It was $20 on like wheelandspokeoutlet.com. New drivetrain, new shifter. Used everything else. Let's get started. Hi, good morning. She cleaned up pretty nice. I really like this lug here. Really quite beautiful. Same with this piece here. This was a cool object before they even bonded it to the tubing. I absolutely love this brake cable stop. Might be my favorite part of the whole thing. And this little pitchfork. I also appreciate these now that I've cleaned them up a little bit. The little taper that they worked in there. Gorgeous. Hope that bonding holds up, you know what I'm saying? Fortunately, I got the headset cups out without any disasters, it seems. I don't see any cracks. I didn't film that part because I was nervous. But it looks pretty good. There's a few little high spots, little burrs I'm gonna clean up with the file. There you go. That's what came out. Look how tall that guy is. Whew. Y'all gave me a lot of love last year for that trek, and I really appreciate it. It's fun to do, and then fun to watch how it spreads. Is we have the bottom cup that came out of the bike. Add to the collection the super deep one. It's in the upper 20s. So for tedious things like cleaning headsets, I'm gonna bring it inside. Also, all my cleaners and polishes and waxes and stuff are frozen solid. So they're also warming up a bit. In the meantime, I'm just using some alcohol, some vinegar, some warm soapy water. And we're just gonna roll with it. Why not treat the fork the same way? You know, especially without a ultrasonic cleaner. Majority of the work doing these rebuilds is cleaning. Alright, well, I got the cake off. Got a couple cracks here. Can't believe I didn't see those at the shop, but that is what it is. So maybe this is a good excuse to go to Fort Collins. Check out the co-op there. All right, thanks a lot, man. Keep up the good work.
Thank you, thank you.
All right, 2 indie forks to work with. Cool set of wheels for another project. Check Army carburetor repair manual. Mind if I do? Fort Collins Co-op Bike Shop. Approved. Alright, Road 34 is tight. If you're in Fort Collins, drop in.
You can follow us on Instagram or, all those social media sites, all that good stuff. We'll be rocking.
I think that's the last thing I need to do this shock rebuild. Shout out to Kuvo Jazz for keeping me entertained while I'm running all these errands trying to fix these forks. Shout out to the striking King Supers employees around the corner from my house, standing out there in the cold for weeks. Y'all, I would encourage you to try to take care of each other, all right?
Thank you.
Keep up the good work, man. I'm on your side. Okay, I think this is the last thing I needed to rebuild those forks. So let's go rebuild those forks. Shout out We Recyclery. All right, here's where we're at. We got both Indies apart, an Indy C and an Indy XC. The XC has a threaded steerer tube. The C has a threadless steerer tube. They appear to have the same parts on the inside for the most part. We got Seven and an eighth uncompressed length for the elastomer, 7 1/4, a 7 1/8, 7 1/4. Although these appear to be an upgrade. Look at they're like purple, translucent purple. That's freaking cool. Maybe they're like that from the factory. Maybe that's why this little band is here. So what I think I'd like to do, since this is all for fun, is swap out these legs. Basically do this. There. This pair of C's honestly was in pretty good shape. It looks like it had been recently rebuilt. Still had oil in the bottom. There you go. Indy C with the threaded steerer tube and the older style elastomers. RockShox Indy XC with the threadless steerer tube and the what I can only assume are newer polyurethane elastomers. These feel better. And this is the one we're using. There you have it. Baby's first bicycle shock rebuild. Only ever done trucks and motorcycles before. This is the one we're going with. It's got the cantilever and the threadless. All right, let's go put it on the bike. All right, it's cold and dark, and I think I'm gonna get a lot more done if I move this whole operation inside. All right, fun fact. This was the cup that came out of it. You can see it's extra deep. It's got this little sleeve on it. That's because it's a special larger diameter. If we take, say, this A headset that's too small, then you might be thinking, okay, well, maybe it's just a, there's a sleeve, this extra sleeve on here that maybe just as fits. Well, no, that doesn't fit in that sleeve at all. This cup is extra small to fit in this sleeve, which is extra big. So it needs to be this cup. Fortunately, I found some loose ball bearings that will fit. I'm going to pack them in here. We're going to use this guy. And I guess the top half of this used a headset, or a headset, however you want to say it. That's what it's going to be. Not the prettiest combo. but it'll rotate. There you go. Redneck bearing press. Alright, now that I got it together, I don't love this as much as I thought I would. Mostly because the steer tube's so long, which I like, but there's really no room on the stem for that. Because there's really no clearance between the top cap and what's left. And maybe we leave it for now. Thinking about this mountain bike stem. We'll leave it for now. We'll leave it for now. Finally time to move on. Let's do crank stuff. Cheap enough? It's all right. Thought the bars might be too tall, but I don't feel that way at all. So that's enough for today. Okay, I'm having thoughts. Thoughts about handlebars. The staggered tires really only make sense with a BMX setup, but we might just have to suck that one up. We all like the BMX thing, the riser bar with the BMX stem, but I have two main problems with this setup as much as I want to use it. And one is that the reach on the stem isn't far enough. If you have an extra long steerer tube, you need a little bit more reach on the stem so you can get some separation here. This looks a little cramped. The bars are cool. These are cool bars, and I'm going to use them on something. But this stem on these forks, I don't think is the move. The other thing that I don't think is going to work with these bars, as much as I like them, is the shifter that I have from this cheap Q system. We have to remember that the ultimate impetus for this build is being a cheap bike, and the Q system is my ticket to a good drivetrain. So we're going to use these shifters. And here's the deal, is on a set of bars like this, if you don't have a lot of room, this looks like it's all the way on here, but if I'm going to grab this bar here, my fingers are smashing into these levers. If I'm going off a sick jump or something, I'm not going to be holding the bar like this. Maybe I'll have a finger on the brake lever, but if this is smashing into my fingers while I'm riding the bike, not trying to shift, that's going to get real old real fast. So if you're doing the trigger shifter, especially if it's got the indicator on it, make sure you've got enough room to get it out of the way so you can really grab the grip. So I already know that these bars in this shifter ain't gonna cut it. Even if that means going with something that looks a little less radical. And how will it fit the spirit of the build? I'll be honest, I forgot I had this stem when I first started this build, and now I feel like it's a key feature. And as I look at the stem, and I really feel like this is a good choice, a good design move here, I feel like it's an opportunity to honor the mountain bike. You know, not everything has to be a BMX cruiser conversion or a commuter conversion or bike packing riff. Sometimes you can just make an awesome mountain bike. I think that's fourth wave Bicycle Billy, is appreciating the mountain bike. It started with that Barracuda. Now we're here. Okay. There's a new cassette. And this is that Q's stuff. Apparently the Q's stuff is specific. I stopped at Bikes Together on my lunch break today and found some of the foamies to match this guy. That's nice. And probably most thankfully, some black Shimano STX cantilever brakes to go with my black Shimano everything else. I had quite the time on my way home today. I'm probably in the mind to rant to you about, gosh, the general decline of things, television especially, things like that, but I don't want to rant to you guys. Jimmy Gouffre. I think there needs to be a little bit of something to collaborate with this polished aluminum. We found these at the co-op, Fort Collins Bicycle Co-op. I really like them, and I kind of want to just keep them for my Fuji for obvious reasons. Thick aluminum, thick walled aluminum. They need cleaning. Shouldn't be too bad. A couple other things. I just wanted to share this really cute brake cable with you. Look at that. Cute. Awesome. One thing I can say about this Shimano Dior LX free hub is it's very satisfying. Okay, we're trying this one more time. The derailleur was kind of jammed in a weird position, and I kind of adjusted it to that, and then I got it in the right position, and the cable housing and chain length all needed to be changed. So the cable routing through the bottom bracket, it took a minute, but I didn't film that for y'all because I was kind of frustrated. There we go. That's pretty good, man. That's pretty good. I like these cues when you get them dialed. Awesome. Okay, finishing touches. Still a little snowy. Tomorrow we ride. If I lowballed the folks at Bikes Together and only counted one fork, even though I rebuilt two, it gets us to 149. You see, Bikes Together, all the prices are flexible. So if I didn't have the money and I still wanted all of these exact parts, I could go in there and I could get these parts and I could build this bike for $149. They have a suggested price, however, and if I went ahead and paid all of these suggested prices for everything, the most significant difference being the wheel set here, then $285. So with the suggested retail price of all these used parts, then you could get out of the door for under 300 bucks. But you should round up, because that's what allows people to come in here and simply say, I need to fix my bike and I don't have the money to do it. They'll teach you how to do it. That's part of the cool thing about Bikes Together. They'll teach you how to work on your bike. You can even go pick out a used bike and they'll teach you how to fix it and send you out the door. So support your community bike shop. Shout out to Bikes Together and all the awesome people that work there. Shout out to Fort Collins Bicycle Co-op. Shout out to Max and all the other creators and hosts of this competition. This is a lot of fun. Especially shout out to all the other bike builders. It's super fun to watch what y'all are coming up with. You know, I really didn't even think too much about doing this until I was getting my haircut a few weeks ago. And my barber Cam, shout out to Cam at Always Barbershop, reminded me that I met him through last year's Cheap Bike Build Off. He bought the bike that I built, and he's been my barber ever since. I moved here from Houston, and that's one of those things, you know, you're worried about making new friends in a new place. Your barber is probably one of the most important ones. So I was lucky to find him, and that's exactly the sort of thing that made me want to do this again. Was it brings together a really unique community of people that appreciate cool, cheap bikes. Yeah, cool, cheap bikes. Support your local bike shop. Support your local community space. Support any peer-to-peer skill sharing opportunity. It's the only way. I'm checking out, I found the Randy's receipt. Randy's Recycled Cycles. Reflex, 25 bucks. If I had a Randy sticker, I'd put it on here. You know that. Surely I asked Ian.